Peace. Welcome to the YouTube live book reading of The African Origin of Civilization, Myth or Reality by the great Dr. CHEIKH. Peace. Divine days and nights. Highest heart love. Yes. What? Oh my God. So thankful and grateful. We have a new NBA champion. So I wanted to make sure we honored them coming in the orange and blue. The New York Knicks did it. Wow. What a ride. What a ride. So thankful and grateful for all the beautiful people in the world shining their light. We've leveled up. And it's the summer. So it's about to be hotter than ever. Peace, YouTube. All right, let's go. We pick up in the 7th chapter. Yes. This is the 27th reading of The African Origin of Civilization, Myth or Reality by Dr. CHEIKH, translated and edited by Mercer Cook. All right, here we go. We pick up at page 140 at the top. The oneness of Egyptian and Black culture could not be stated more clearly because of this essential identity of genius, culture, and more clearly, and race. Today, all Negroes can legitimately trace their culture to ancient Egypt and build a modern culture on that foundation. A dynamic modern contact with Egyptian antiquity would enable Blacks to discover increasingly each day the intimate relationship between all Blacks of the continent and the Mother Nile Valley. By this dynamic contact, the Negro will be convinced that these temples, these forests of columns, these pyramids, these colossi, these bas reliefs, mathematics, medicine, and all this science are indeed the work of his and her ancestors, and that he and she has a right and a duty to claim this heritage. Yes. From now on, in this type of research, so invaluable for the investigation of thought, we are beginning to perceive that a great part of the Black continent, instead of being unpolished and savage as was previously supposed, has cast its influence in many directions across the immense isolation of desert or forest, an influence which came from the Nile and passed through Libya, Nubia, and Ethiopia. With respect to the incarnation process of the Dogon, Octid, and Ennead, 8 or 9 deified ancestors, and the Egyptian Octid and Ennead, it would almost be necessary to reproduce here entire pages of Griot's Dio. In both cases, 4 couples are engendered by the primitive God. They are the authors of creation and civilization. This suggests how the number 8 has become the basis of the Dogon's numerical system, thus 80 in the equivalent of 100 and 800, the equivalent of 1,000. This is very key. Let's drop a pin in. Thank you to the ancestors. Dogon. The Dogon. That's what you're looking at right there. Our ancestors see as they marched through the land. They tracked the cosmos. They knew the ley lines of the area where there were stronger points that you could draw energy from, and where there were portals to other dimensions. Yes. Mhm. This also helps us to understand how the ancestors' cult has become the foundation of cosmogony in Black Africa, as in Egypt. While the most distant ancestors are detached in some manner, almost like a vapor to reach the heaven, the nearest ones, those who have just died, and those whose memory is not yet vague enough for them to be the forebears of an entire people, these closest ancestors are only family demigods. With the advent of the historical period, when diligence is in recording events no longer permits vagueness, the deification process becomes somewhat restricted. The cult of ancestors continues, but henceforth they remain more or less historical personages. We could, for instance, insist on the similarity between the Dogon god serpent and the god serpent of the Egyptian pantheon. Each of these dances in the dark. As a matter of fact, Amelino writes that the god serpent is called the one who dances in the shadows. This refers to the serpent in the inscription on a sarcophagus at the Marseilles Museum, an inscription accompanying the representation of the tomb of Osiris from Prolegomena, page 41. In the Dogon pantheon, the seventh ancestor, transformed into a serpent, has been killed by his men. His head has been buried beneath the blacksmith's cushion. From the sepulchre, the ancestor serpent rises up to dance underground, i.e., in the darkness, and to move toward the tomb, the oldest man to devour him. This is from Grial, page 62. Fire, right? Peace, you too. Awesome. Yes, we're giving it honor to this wonderful, wonderful championship that just concluded. And so we're showing love by wearing the orange and blue. Thank you so much for the likes and subs. Live from the light in this peaceful part of YouTube where we read books and learn from masters. We are in the 7th chapter now. So this has been awesome. Awesome, right? Oh, gratitude. Peace. All right. Page 141 in the middle is where we are right now. We might emphasize this trait as possible indication of a ritual man eating, such as might also be found in Egypt at the beginning. This feature might also stem from the vitalistic principles which form the basis of Negro society. By assimilating the substance of others, one acquires their vital force. This increases one's invulnerability against the destructive forces of the universe. Mhm. By the same token, we might also compare the incestuous jackal god of the Dogon pantheon with the jackal god of the Egyptians. He is the guardian of the pond where the dead are supposed to be cleansed. Currently, however, there is a tendency to assimilate the jackal god with a dog god. Finally, the importance attributed to the signs of the zodiac in Dogon cosmogony deserves attention. When one is also aware that the Dogon know the star Sophis, Sirius, mm, so powerful. One can only recall that the Egyptian calendar has was based on the heliacal rising of that star. All right. Social organization. All right, social organization. Very key. The social stratification of African life is precisely that of Egypt. In Egypt, the stratification was as follows: peasants, skilled workers, priests, warriors, and government officials. Then the king. In the rest of Black Africa, we have peasants, artisans, or skilled workers, warriors, priests, the king. And you see that it was identical. Page 142. This is a very deep part. I want to make sure we spend some time here. So let's start with a page of it. Matriarchy. Matriarchy. The matriarchal system is the base of the social organization in Egypt and throughout Black Africa. In contrast, there has never been any proof of the existence of a Paleo-Mediterranean matriarchy supposedly exclusively white. To support this statement, we need only cite the arguments of an author who devoted 437 pages to a vain attempt to whiten Black Africa. Succession to the throne is regulated in Kano, Nigeria, by matriarchy, a Paleo Mediterranean legacy until the epic of Fulani domination. We are told that the Queen of Dara had a saddle ox. This reminds us of the customs of the ancient Libyan Garamanes or Garamantes. So we again encounter ancient white Africa with its matriarchal system. Closely related are the peoples of Kordofan, Sudan, and Nubia, including Tita and Tuareg, as well as the sovereigns of the Sudan. Bowman, page 313. It's ridiculous. It sounds absurd. It will be noted that these statements, whose seriousness is equaled only by their vagueness, follow from a single unimportant fact. The Queen of Dar rode on saddle ox. In passing, Bowman has even whitened the sovereigns of Western Sudan in line with a well-known Nazi procedure that consists of explaining any African civilization by the activity of a white race or its offspring, even if we have to decree the white blacks or dark red whites exist, all the whom are grouped under the convenient term Hamites. Oh, you see that? It's disgusting. Absolutely. They do the devil's work. And so you got to expect that they don't want the lights on, that they want you, if you will, confused. They don't like confusion. They don't want you to know. And that's why we have this peaceful part of YouTube where we read books and learn from masters. So we know. We're not guessing. Hello, peace. Hi, it's Heart Love. Thank you for the likes and subs. We're pushing towards 700 on this peaceful part of YouTube reading books. That's all on the channel. You'll see, and I'll put a brief vocabulary in the description when it's complete uploading. You just tap on the playlist of any of the books on this channel, and it will read it all along for you. You'll see I've been reading all different places as well. So get to travel with me and read books. Hi, it's Heart Love. We're at page 142, down in the middle. If the matriarchal system inherited from some white paleo-Mediterranean were anything but a mental fantasy, it would have lasted throughout the Persian, Greek, Roman, and Christian periods, just as it has continued until today in Black Africa. But this obviously is not the case. Obviously. Look at us. We're still here stronger than ever. Cyrus arranged his succession in advance by designating his eldest son, Cambyses, who killed his younger brother to avoid competition. In Greece, succession was simply patrilineal, as in Rome. In reality, there never was a monarchical tradition in Greece, except for the ephemeral reign of Alexander. The country was never unified. Key, never unified. The kings of the heroic epic of whom Homer speaks were only rulers of cities, village chiefs, such as Ulysses. Hostilities between those villages even seemed childish. Stones were thrown at inhabitants of a neighboring town as they passed through another community. In the best periods, such Greek cities as Athens were governed by adventurous, ambitious merchants who gained control by intrigue. Alexander himself was a foreigner from Macedonia. The absence of queens in Greek, Roman, or Persian history can be noted. The Byzantine Empire must be considered as a separate complex. In contrast, during those remote epochs, queens were frequent in Black Africa. When the Indo-European world acquired enough military strength to conquer the old countries that had civilized it, they encountered the fierce, unyielding resistance of a queen whose determined struggle symbolized the national pride of a people who, until then, had commanded others. This was Queen Candace of the Meroitic Sudan. She impressed all antiquity by her stand at the head of her troops against the Roman armies of Augustus Caesar. The loss of an eye in the battle only redoubled her courage. Her fearlessness and scorn or death even forced the admiration of a chauvinist like Strabo. Mhm. This queen had courage above her sex. At the beginning of Western civilization, the Frankish kings gradually acquired the habit of arranging their succession in advance, excluding any notion of matriarchy. Thus, in the West, political rights are transmitted by the father. This does not mean that a daughter is not allowed to receive them. On the other hand, Negro matriarchy is as alive today as it was during antiquity. In regions where the matriarchal system has not been altered by external influences, Islam, etc., it is the woman who transmits political rights. This derives from the general idea that heredity is effective only matrilineal. We'll pause right here. Woo! The matrilineal. See, I told you reading this book, I'm going to put together all those dots and questions. It's a very distinguishing factor from something that is African or, like it was said back in his day, Negro. Hi, it's heart love. It's not the patrilineal, it's the matrilineal that distinguishes. Another way to distinguish. Hi, it's heart love. Thank you so much for reading with us. The African origin of civilization, myth, or reality by Dr. CHEIKH, edited and translated by Mercer Cook. Gratitude. Thank you so much. So thankful and grateful. All I have now, all that's coming to me. Yeah, that's part here. What a day. What a day we're going to have. I'm wishing greatness for us. We're going to have a great meditation as well. Can't wait. So, got the reading in, got some great work in and workout. So, great day. I'm so thankful and grateful for every one of you. Fine rising. Tonight, we are traveling to the white cloud. White cloud tonight is where we're traveling to. So grateful and thankful. Yes. Cheers to all the champions, right? Let's have a glass of love water. Let me go grab some love water. Magical days and nights. Some more World Cup coming in, right? It's going to be a great day. I can feel it. Can't you just see the light just glowing for us? It is. You see it? Fine days and nights. To all those that have elevated, all those great solar returns, heavenly solar returns, we honor you. And all those here with us now, we honor you. Highest heart love, and I love you. Mm. I love you. I love you. I love you. Yay. When we reconvene the seventh chapter, we are going through the matrilineal understanding. What world we live in. I love you. Let's sing it to my friends and family. Ay, 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 ay. Love, love, love you. Ay, 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 ay. Love you, 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 you. You. You know, 'cause I love myself. My days and nights. I hope to see you soon. Peace, peace.